Howdy guys, thought I'd do a video about one of my favorite things, the 22 long rifle long gun. That's not a long gun, that is a pistol. It's an H&R 929. And I'll tell you what, if someone's selling an H&R and 22 long rifle, they're just down the road from me and they only want 100 bucks, I'm already in my car. I love these things. You might have seen my other video that had an H&R 999 with the top brake auto eject feature. This is a little bit more reminiscent of regular pistol in the fact that it has a swing out cylinder. And what's kind of neat, I was looking on eBay and they have ads for these things that you can actually buy if you want to throw them into your collection. And this H&R 929 was called the Sidekick. And back in the day, they only wanted $36 for it. Well, happy to get it for what I did. It's got little plastic grips, kind of interesting. They look great. You know, usually I want wood grips or something on mine, or those nice Hogue rubber grips. But these actually kind of suit the gun. And it's a 9-shot. And one of the neat things is there's this little decocker lever on here. I kind of find that a little neat, in the sense that you can do this single and double action. And look at that, we actually still have a pin on the back of this thing. But in order to get the cylinder to come out, you have to half cock your hammer. Oh, hear that? And then you can actually pull the forward peg and swing it out. Then you load it up, and it's a 9-shot. That's kind of neat in and of itself. You load it up, swing it back in. And then if you don't want to fire and you don't want that little stress on the spring, I guess that's what this is for, because you pull this, and you hear a little snap, and you might have seen the hammer move a bit, and that decocks the whole thing. So, fun little gun. I'll tell you what though, I haven't been able to take it to the range yet. I mean, I've just been fooling around with it on my desk. The range has been crowded these last couple of days. And as I said, I just picked this up a short while ago. I've been trying to go to the range a couple times. Can't do it. Anyway, before I get started, show a little neat device I got. Making myself a nice cup of tea here. Just brewing it up. Here with these bags here. Usually I know I do like something with like alcohol, but it is winter. Nice hot cup of tea's what's soon me, and I got this neat new spoon. So, one of those guys that, you know, a special treat if it's really cold outside, hot cup of tea, and some, what do we call this, sweetened condensed milk in there, a nice big spoonful. Wow, that's a treat. Here's the neat thing with the spoon. The back unscrews like that. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a, well, here, I'll show you what it does, actually. When you put the spoon in, and you push down on that unscrewed back, it starts whipping that blade around. This is called the spoonomat. It's supposed to whip that spoon head around about, they said 1,500 revolutions per second, something like that. It's enough to actually whip eggs or whatever if you wanted to. But I figure it's going to suit my purposes for this nice cup of tea. Oof, look at that. So, a couple pumps of the spoon. Finally push all the way down to lock it in place. There you go. And one of the things I like with my any cream beverage, that is what's left of a hazelnut. I got a bunch of them upstairs, but hazelnut and cream just goes great. If you've never had a hazelnut, go to your grocery spice section. Usually they're in a jar. It's kind of a nutty, peppery kind of a flavor when you put it in there. And it's a good excuse to use your Benchmades. I think this is a 581. It's like it's a full-size beverage. And just, you know, scrape off a nice healthy half of a teaspoon in there. Well, let's check that blade, make sure it's, oh, yeah, there's some extra there. Lucky me. Anyway. Man, that's awesome. Oof. And you know it's winter, because the Girl Scouts are out and about selling their cookies, so nothing like I like better on a nice cold winter morning than a bit of spice chai, some nutmeg in there, and some Girl Scout trefoils. Alright, 22 long rifle. Well, I think everyone probably has one of these. This is my first 22 long rifle I got, and I think everyone's eventually gonna get one if they don't have one already, because they're so fun to customize. It's the Ruger 1022, and mine I've actually customized a tiny bit. It's so easy, you can do it yourself. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about like the internals. I got in here a bunch of old carts and parts. I got an extended mag release, a slide lock in here, and I also got the whole trigger mechanism that has that polished ruby finish. that has a tighter, crisp snap, and it actually does. This thing, you can fire it as fast as you can pull your finger on there. One of the other things I have on here is actually I have a left-handed extended button safety. I would not recommend that. The reason being is because of the extended safety. In order to get the actual receiver out for tinkering with, you have to move that safety to a mid position and slide it out. Well, with that extended piece, I had to cut a notch here into a bit of my my stock, and that's something you won't recover in terms of the looks. But being so devoted to lefties, I guess it's one of the things you gotta do. Aside from that, that's pretty stock. 22s have so little kick, you can get any scope. I think this might have been a Bushnell out of Walmart, and it just does the job. It's great. One of the neat things with this gun, normally it comes with a 10-round circular magazine. 10 rounds, there, you're done in 2 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds. And because this has so little kick, it's probably all center mass at 150 feet, right? Well, one of the things that I find really neat is these Butler Creek steel lip magazines. They're, here we are, made by Butler Creek. They do make something called the Hot Lips, which has plastic feeds for your rifle, and this fits in like a typical, I guess, what you'd call banana clip or banana magazine. And one of the weird things is you'll notice that there are tabs. Let's see if we can see them up here. There are tabs and indents on the magazine, and that's so you can actually stick them together instead of taping together your banana clips. Once again, little clips. But the neat thing about them is, if any of you have handled lots of 22s, like when you're feeding them into the magazine, at the end of the day, you're looking at your hand, and it's covered in little lead dust or some grime or whatever. This is a Butler Creek speed loader. Really easy to use. Let's see if we have any ammo around here. Well, of course we have ammo around here. Let's see. I love these quantity packs of 22s. I mean, 22s, I mean, face it, if you can find 223, you're lucky. If you can find 45 or 9mm, you're really lucky, because all this stuff is getting sold out really fast, and I'm scared to shoot it now because I don't know when I'll be able to restock. Well, I got a bunch of 22. I mean, this thing's got 550 rounds. That is like 11 times any one of the handgun boxes, and I can still find some 22s around and about. And if you're like me, you pick up the Christmas specials, so you also have these Christmas special boxes of just a bunch of 22 lying around. Or if you're trying out new guns and you want really good quality, you probably have several bricks of CCI lying around the 22 also. Anyway, back to this Federal value pack. Ooh, how fun to open a fresh box of Federal. Look at that. Oh, that is about 10 range strips full of fun. Or maybe 3 range strips. But anyway, you get the idea. To use one of these speed loaders, if you haven't seen one of them, you just sprinkle a little 22 in here. Man, that sounds like a recipe for fun. You take your magazine, you line it up into the channels here, and this lever slides down. A lot of people make the mistake of flipping the lever all the way in. No, it just holds it in place. It's just a tension lever. And then when you shake this up, you'll see the ammo start to orient itself along the bottom. So yeah, shake that up. So there's a little groove on the side for the ammo. And you just hold it at an angle and start turning the knob. And you just shake, shake, shake. And pretty soon, it starts to figure itself out. And you can kind of see the brass starting to fill that up. If you run low on ammo, just take it a couple more times. And well, this is a new magazine, so it's a little longer than normal. Once they break in, they're really easy. But there you go. That is, once I loosen that is 25 rounds of pure fun. And once again, with that ruby trigger, ruby polished trigger on the On the 1022, this will empty out in like just a second or two. As I said, you can join them, and the more you have, the merrier. But I don't like just modern 22s. This is a staple. This is a modern remake, of course. And they do make that 1022 in breakdown. This is a broken down Browning 22. And I guess this would be great for a backpacker. I mean, and also look at the nice polish on that thing. The way these work, you have to hold back on the charger, slide in the barrel, give it a nice twist. Whoops, doing that upside down. There you go. Slide that in, release it, drop back in the clip, the lock. And what's nice about these ones is that they actually have an internalized magazine. So while it does feel a little small, almost like a kid's gun, it does have a nice weight to it. And the internal magazine is accessed on the back. Give a little twist of that, pull out the spring, and then you just start feeding ammo in here. In fact, let's see if that works. I think I have some snap caps here. So you can just start dropping in ammo. Shake it in place. Lock it in. And then to charge it, there you go. And there's the safety on this. It's semi-automatic. And the neat thing is, as you know, I'm a lefty, it ejects out the bottom. So it drops out the bottom, which I like, since I don't have brass flying in my face. Now the Ruger 1022 does eject out to the right-hand side, so I will occasionally have brass flying across my field of vision or bouncing off the wall and smacking me back in the eye if I'm at an indoor range. No biggie. But here's another one of these neat breakdowns. That is a Browning 22. This is really old. And this is a Remington rolling block. I think it's a Model 4, I'm not sure. And the reason is because I think this might come from two different guns. I mean, it does look kind of like the wood is similar, but I have here a disassembly lever instead of a knob, and usually the disassembly knob or screw is associated with an octagonal barrel. This time I have a round barrel. And usually, the lever is associated with an octagonal barrel, and a round barrel is associated with a takedown screw. So these might be two different guns. This might be the older half, and this would be a slightly newer half. What's kind of neat is that the locking I guess plug on the barrel end that fits into the receiver, that's still part of this molded forend of wood. So let's pop that in here, lock it in place. And now this is a small single shotgun. I think it might almost be a youth rifle. However, it's fun and I like it. It's single shot, as I said, and has this really nice peep sight, which kind of maybe indicates it might not be for youth, because the peep sight is probably worth the entire rifle here as it is. Now, if you've never seen a rolling block rifle, it's pretty neat. You go ahead and you cock the hammer, and then you open up the rolling block. And let's see, we got some of these snap caps. Slide your ammo in, close the block, the gate. You have your peep sight, and you're ready to go. After you take that shot, boom. When you open up this gate, slowly, it'll eject the brass. Oh, there it goes. And what's kind of neat about this this peep sight here, see if we can get a better look at it, is that it actually has multiple apertures. So let me make this easier on myself. Take off the barrel. So if we actually hook our finger on this little tab here, we can pop that open, and now you have a large aperture. You can once again close that small aperture. You can adjust for elevation also with this little tiny screw grip. It's a fun little gun. These things are incredibly accurate, which and you know, the fact that they're single shot, you'll spend your entire time at the range and hardly use any ammo if that's concerned, if you can't find a lot of 22 long rifle. Let's see what else we got. Here's another takedown, and it's also old. And this has got to be one of my favorites. This is probably also one of America's favorites. One of the most massively produced 22 long rifle guns. It's the Winchester 1890. This one is chambered in 22 long rifle. Most of these are chambered in 22 short, I believe. About 10 to 15% were in long rifle. Not the most beautiful of conditions, but it is it's a crowd pleaser at the range. I tell you what, when you bring your friends with one of these things, this was the gun that they used at like shooting galleries on the boardwalk or whatever. So when you're shooting with your friends and you're messing around with this thing, it's just got an intuitive, great feel to it. It is a takedown. That's what this screw is over here. And what's kind of neat is you can actually see the whole action unfold on top of the receiver. So once again, you know, oops, the movement of the pump lifts up the top of the receiver, starts to slide it back, and you might see the fork in here that actually lifts the ammo out of the magazine. There's a tubular magazine on the bottom of this thing, and then repositions it for the front of the barrel. Now this, like all the Winchesters I have, is probably one of my most accurate guns. That's why I love taking it to the range, because it's just it's a fun gun to shoot. As I said, there's a magazine here on the bottom. You rotate the plunger out, the spring, and actually there's a little cutout here for ammo, so you could just start dropping your ammo in and load it that way. In fact, let's do like 2 rounds of these snap caps in there, just to get a feel for it. Now, alternately, you could actually take out the whole rod, load in from the very top, and work it that way. So once again, here we go. You can kind of see the arm that's grabbed the ammo, slides it into place, boom, ready to shoot. And then when you pump it again, drops it out, next ammo's in place, and then boom, you're ready to shoot. There you go. I got another gun actually that's a lever action. And this is one of my newest ones. It's a Stevens visible loader. Look at that thing. It looks very much like the 1890, right? It is a pump action 22 long rifle. And it has a great, awesome look to it. And it's called a visible loader for a reason. First of all, you'll notice that compared to the 1890, there's a lot more of a cant onto this the stock here. That's because there's so much action in the receiver part up here that I guess they had to move the stock out of the way. I don't know. But let me show you how this thing works. This does not have a cutout like the Winchester did, but this has like a really neat feature. There's a reason it's called a visible loader. I'm going to do about 4 rounds in this. I think it takes like 10 or 11, but the feature is so neat. Let me grab a sip of that tea. Ooh, happy days. All right. So it's called a visible loader. Well, actually, I'm gonna cock the hammer. You don't have to do that with real ammo. I think the difference is that the claw on this thing can grip into the brass a lot better than it can into the aluminum from these snap caps. But here, let's see if you can see this. Cock the hammer, just all right. So that piece of ammo popped out. A lug moves it up, and then drops it into the barrel. It's a visible loader because it's all visible. Crazy. Boom, you fire. Once again, I don't have to cock the hammer, but I'm just doing that because it facilitates things. It keeps, otherwise the tension is, it'll just pop the ammo out before you'll see anything. So once again, this is the spent casing. You can see the second ammo dropping into place, or coming out of the magazine, being picked up by those claws, being moved up by the lug and kicking out the other ammo, and now it's loaded into place, and then boom! Oh, there you go. And we'll do that one more time. just such a neat feature. What a fun little gun. You can kind of see up here that there are two claws on either side of this gun. So to drop out the last round, you actually you could either squeeze them and pull it out, or if you want to just flick it out, you can do that. But it's a great looker. It's a little different than anything else out there, right? And as I said, I always like taking 22 out to the range. I mean, this box will last me a lot longer than these boxes all put together. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope you guys go out there and look for some 22 long rifles at your next gun show. They're fun, they're unique, they're Americana, and I just enjoy them. All right, cheers.